For almost 2 decades, federal investigators chased a bomber who seemed to leave almost nothing behind. The first device appeared in 1978 at a Chicago university. It was primitive, but it started a pattern that would move through campuses, airlines, computer stores, homes, and offices. The FBI later called the case UNABOM, short for University and Airline Bombing. The public would know the suspect by a colder name, the Unabomber. Theodore John Kaczynski was not identified by a fingerprint at the beginning. He was not caught because one scene gave investigators a clean answer. The case became a long study in fragments, recovered parts, mailing records, victim histories, false clues, and the uncomfortable fact that many targets seemed chosen from research, not personal contact. By the mid-1990s, the bombings had killed 3 people and injured many more. The attacks had also created a national fear that ordinary mail, an office package, or a parking lot object could become lethal. Then the case changed shape. In 1995, the bomber sent a long essay explaining his views and demanding publication. Federal officials approved publication in the hope that someone would recognize the author. Someone did. David Kaczynski read the published writing and saw patterns that reminded him of his brother Ted. He brought old letters and documents forward. Linguistic analysis compared those writings with the published essay. The match did not replace the investigation, but it gave investigators the key they had lacked: a path to a search warrant. On April 3, 1996, agents arrested Theodore Kaczynski at a small cabin near Lincoln, Montana. Inside, investigators found bomb components, thousands of handwritten journal pages, descriptions of crimes, and a live bomb. The legal case moved into federal court. A 1996 indictment in Sacramento charged Kaczynski with bombings that killed Gilbert Murray and Hugh Scruton and injured Charles Epstein and David Gelernter. Other parts of the wider case involved additional districts and victims. In January 1998, Kaczynski pleaded guilty under an agreement that took the death penalty off the table and left him with life in prison without the possibility of parole. The Unabomber story is often told as a story about genius, isolation, and technology. But the legal record points to something more exact. A man used violence to force attention onto his ideas. The investigation that stopped him did not depend on one dramatic clue. It depended on patience, language, family recognition, and a court-authorized search. And that is why the case still matters. It shows how a public threat can hide behind ordinary materials, how ideology can become a mask for violence, and how the smallest human pattern, a way of writing, can finally open the door.